As we've reported, Campaign '08 really kicks off this coming week in the Iowa caucuses. Here's how it looks in a new poll from KCCI TV in Des Moines. The Democratic race, way too close to call at this point. Barack Obama, John Edwards, and Hillary Clinton are in a dead heat. Now, on the Republican side, Mike Huckabee leads Mitt Romney with Fred Thompson trailing in third place. Now, let's talk about this with Democratic strategist Michael Feldman in our Washington bureau and CBS political analyst and former Bush White House communications director Nicole Wallace, who joins us from Miami. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mike, let me begin with you. We just talked to Jeff Greenfield about this preamble, this 18-month run-up to finally some concrete numbers. These poll numbers, what do these say, and what do they actually mean at this point?
Well, look, you said it. The race is too close to call, and that's about all we know. It's all the polls will tell us, because Iowa is a really tough state to poll in. At the end of the day, it really comes down to the organization of the campaigns and of the candidates leading up to caucus day. The polls don't tell you how effective their turnout operation is going to be, the intensity of their support, and that really matters in a caucus state like Iowa. So we know it's going to be close. But that's just about all the polling is going to tell us at this point.
And Nicole, how vital is it to win Iowa? And if you can, give me a candidate on both sides of the aisle that stands to lose the most if they don't win.
Well, look, the winner of Iowa and then a few days later, New Hampshire, if it's the same person, will have cemented his path to the nomination. But what's so interesting on the Republican side is that it is very likely that after Iowa and New Hampshire, this race could be cracked wide open. And that's certainly what Rudy Giuliani is counting on. But, you know, I think that we've been reminded this week of a real wild card factor, and that is the impact of an outside event like this week's tragedy in Pakistan to really shake the kaleidoscope of the contest, especially on the Republican side, where terrorism and national security is very central to what Republican primary voters hold dear when they're choosing a nominee.
And Nicole, let me follow up with you then. Let's talk about Mike Huckabee. How much of a misstep for the former governor this week when the Bhutto assassination conversation with Huckabee, at least, really translated right to immigration, is really kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, look, a single gaffe doesn't sink any campaign.
But this is a pretty big gaffe, though.
That's right. And this, as I said, you know, national security and having the medal on national security issues is utterly essential, especially on the Republican side. I'd argue on the Democratic side, too. But, you know, the problem for Huckabee is this isn't the first gaffe, and it's really late in the game to be making mistakes like this.
Mike, let me ask you for the Dems now, and you hate to say that an assassination helps these candidates, but let's talk about how favorability, from where it does standpoint, where it does help these candidates. Hillary, she had a bond with Bhutto over the years. Edwards comes out and says he was able to actually take a phone call from Musharraf on Thursday. Who stands to gain the most from this?
Well, look, I agree with Nicole. An event like this tends to reorient voters, especially when it comes on the eve of an important contest. And so foreign policy and national security starts sliding up in their list of priority issues at a time when they're getting ready to make a decision. And so I think it probably helped Senator Clinton on balance. I think Senator Edwards, oddly enough, performed very well. I mean, getting a call through to Musharraf during this crisis actually gave him a platform to talk about the issue. I think it helps Senator Dodd and Senator Biden, for example. Biden has been talking about this issue an awful lot. But really it comes down to how they react to the issue and the sense that it gives voters that they're in command when news breaks, especially when it happens in an increasingly complex and dangerous world.